I said on the video though it was like Scary Movie where the water goes everywhere. It was it gushed out.
Back seat.
I wasn't
She was standing in the middle of the two front seats. Like what a child would do.
The baby's not wanting to come yet. I'm exhausted.
He is so hungry now. I'm telling you. No?
It's filming. Hi and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to talk about the birth of my first child, Caleb, back in 2012, and then I'll be doing a quick 29-week update. So I have my husband sat next to me. This is Ryan. I've roped him into making the video with me. So do you want to say anything?
Things you do for your wife, eh?
It's cheeky. Anyway, so so we're going to talk about the birth story. We do have some footage to put in. I'm not sure how long this video is going to be and where we're going to place the footage, but we'll decide that after. Yeah, so we don't want this video to come across as all doom and gloom and everything, and we know that some people will choose that they choose to have a elective cesarean or have had good experience with emergency C-sections, for example. But we just wanted to share our experience with the last birth and with our home birth, and then obviously with documenting what's happening with this pregnancy. So we hope that this video can be useful to some people, and if you have any questions or comments or anything like that, then please let us know. And we just wanted also to show you that even if you have had a really awful experience with one of your births, there can be a light at the end of the tunnel, and I believe that we've experienced that with our second child. So first I thought I'd just go into what happened before we had him. So we became pregnant in April and we found out in May before we were due to go on holiday to Namibia, and I had really bad nausea and sickness like I have had with this pregnancy and the last one. And but the pregnancy relatively went okay. I was very, very tired, and found out early on that I had chronic iron deficiency, so I spent most of the pregnancy trying to get my iron levels up. And from the beginning we planned that we was going to have a home birth, didn't we? We didn't have it in mind to go to hospital at all. We wanted a home birth, so I started researching birthing pools, and the midwife was really supportive because I was classed as low risk. And everything was going fine until, was it a couple of months before I was due to give birth, when they said about the iron being low and we had to make a consultant appointment.
I think it's 4 months.
Well, we went up to the hospital.
I can remember it's 4 months, I think.
We went up to the hospital and we met a consultant, and he said that the home birth, they wouldn't really be happy with it, and that we would have to go to the normal delivery suite, not the birthing centre. And we asked why, and he put the fear in us. Well, he tried to, didn't he, by telling us a story about women that he's had who had low iron, who had bled out on the table and everything. And at the time, we wasn't really knowledgeable, and we didn't realise that he shouldn't have been speaking about his own personal experiences, that he needed to talk about national statistics and everything. So we were kind of right, but obviously we don't want to put our baby in danger. So we made a compromise that we would come to the birthing suite. So we spoke to the midwife and told her what happened, and she never said anything about, well, if your iron levels go up you could still have the home birth or anything. So we just believed what the consultant said, didn't we? Because we thought he had our best interests at heart. So we went to an antenatal class near the end of the pregnancy, and again, we was natural birth we wanted in the birthing suite. And when they talked about C-sections, we didn't really pay a lot of attention, did we? Because we never thought that we would that we would have to go down that route. So again, we didn't do any research really into C-sections and the recovery. We just, I don't know, we had this kind of like blind faith that everything was going to be fine and that this baby was going to come out naturally. I'd have my TENS machine. I wasn't going to have any drugs or anything like that, no interventions. And then little did we know, everything that we didn't want ended up happening. So I'd say in the lead up to the birth, like a couple of days before, I was feeling lots of Braxton Hicks, and then now looking back, I was going into labour, but I didn't realise it. And on was it the Wednesday night? Because we had it was Friday early morning. Yeah. It was Thursday
morning.
Morning,
we
like
went
2
to bed
o'clock.
Wednesday night, and then about 2 o'clock you woke me up.
My waters are broken.
Saying that you think your waters are broken, and that's when I realized, yes. But it was nothing like what you would think when you watch movies. People, the water break, and
I said on the video though, it was like Scary Movie where the water goes everywhere. It was it gushed out.
Well,
You was asleep though.
I don't remember that. My word.
And there's a video, but I don't think I'll show this, where you come in the bathroom and it's still coming out, and you film it on the floor. Yeah, and I've got loads of tissue in between my legs, and you're filming me. And then Mum's there, like scrubbing the floor in the back garden with the mop, which I'll put that in. So you filmed, which you're going to see on the footage either before or after.
It's just about what's on now? It's the time. About 13 minutes past 2 in the morning, and just got woken up about 20 minutes ago. And someone saying, no. And then she got up, and it's just a lot of water. Water broke. And this is where it happened. You right, Simone?
Yeah, more's coming out.
More? What's going on? Oh, you right?
Yeah, there's loads more coming out, and I didn't want it to get on my pants.
Yeah. How you feeling? Weird.
It's just strange.
So tell us what happened.
I just jumped out of bed because I was having loads of pains, and my waters broke, and it was like, you know, in the film Scary Movie when she's having a pee and it's all over the floor. It was like that.
Are you feeling any pain right now?
Not right now, no.
Was it sore when it happened?
No, it was like a relief. You know, it was strange.
So what happened tonight?
Oh, I've been having pains all night, and I didn't get much sleep. And yeah, I've been getting contractions, so now I've got to go to hospital. And so I just want to make myself a bit decent. Even, you know what I mean? I don't want to look rough.
Right. Mom's just over there trying to clean up the water that broke. That's it.
And in the evening though, I'd been having contractions, but I thought they were Braxton Hicks, and I'd been on the ball all night.
I think you've been in labour.
Yeah,
not realising. Now
labour.
we know that you were probably in the early stages of labour. But when I think we were quite relaxed.
I only had about 20 minutes sleep though, didn't I? So I'd been up since 9 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. Went to bed about 11, tossing and turning, woke up about 2, waters broke. We rang up the hospital. They told us to come in, and had we known what we know now, that I wasn't in established labour, we would have stayed at home because we were having a laugh and we were happy.
What were we thinking?
When you look back, you just think, oh, there's so many things that I would have changed, but obviously you don't. You just, with your first, a lot of the time, you just don't know, do you?
Well, I think everything happens for a reason. I think that happened, and I think how far we've come in terms of how we've grown, knowledge-wise, experience. That was very difficult, 24 hours plus. And then obviously at the end, it was a cesarean, but you know, when the baby arrives, when Caleb arrived, you just you kind of like overlook that. But when we had Neva, it was completely different. It was what we actually spoke about the first time. No drugs, no nothing.
No interventions at home.
Just what I was wanting to put up a movie by the time Simone was about to give birth.
Because you know why?
Because that was the mindset.
There's a video that we'll put in, and it's 6 hours when we got to the hospital, and I was only 4 centimeters dilated. So when it got to 6 hours with Neva, we was about to give birth, but we thought, right, we're in this for the long haul.
Yeah,
we've got our sandwiches, we've got our cups of teas. He's putting a movie on.
Why not?
And I'm like 9 centimeters dilated. But we didn't, but obviously I don't want to talk about that now. That's going to be in the next video, which I hope he'll make with me straight after this, because it's difficult to try and get him free for that. So anyway, right, he's just jumped through the whole
I'm sure the people
thing.
don't want to hear about me, they want to hear about you more.
Yeah, but do you know what?
Well, it was our experience, but you've been the one that's gone through it.
But the reason why, I should have mentioned this at the beginning, the reason why that I wanted to get Ryan in on the video is because I think it's nice to get the man's perspective of what happened, because a lot of with this birth, a lot of it I was out of it. And not just that, I really feel like it can be useful for if there are any partners watching this and then they're wondering how what happens in an emergency situation and how the partner can be supportive. And then that was another thing, if any of you guys would like Ryan to maybe make another video with me talking about how you know, dads can help and be supportive and all that kind of stuff, then please leave a comment down below. So anyway, let's get back to it. So we had the bag packed. After Mum mopped up, we went to the hospital, and I'm straddled in between the seats at the back, and my mum's there in the passenger seat and Ryan's driving. Now, I really feel like us getting to the hospital.
You were where?
Straddled, is it not?
You were standing up.
In the car? Was I standing?
You were
right,
actually
okay.
standing up. She wasn't in the back seat.
I wasn't.
She was standing in the middle of the two front seats, like what a child would do. And you have to tell them, go sit down, strap yourself in. She was actually standing up, and it was, I think, one of the worst snowstorms in the history of snow in Birmingham at that time. So.
It was
in I think a few bad. I don't know how many years.
The weather was so awful.
We were skiing on our way.
It was quiet though.
It was 2 o'clock in the morning.
It was quiet, and we got there, and then as you'll see from the video, I know that every hospital's got the necessary procedures, but I was messed around with a lot in terms of my blood's being taken, but I think maybe that's because my waters broke. And I wasn't in established labour really. I was 4 centimetres dilated, and I remember being examined, and I'm sure the midwife gave me a sweep without telling me, so it really shocked me.
And at that time
we time to show the bit to get the vein as well.
At that time we were not knowledgeable in terms of, you know, you go to the hospital and you just hand yourself over without even, you just expect, obviously you trust and know that, all right, they know what they're doing. You respect it, but to be honest, if you really educate yourself in terms of, you know, preparing really well, I think, you know, if everything is going well in labor and you are actually experiencing that you can have a home birth, or even if you are in hospital, and if it's running smoothly, I think if everyone can, you know, every situation is different. Where you have an emergency, where, you know, if they have to have a cesarean, then so be it. We're not saying that, you know, it's so bad and all that. We're just simply talking about our experience. This is 5 to 3. We just arrived here at the hospital. She's just over there. This is what the room looks like. It's really nice and comfortable. Yeah, it's all good.
All the contractions were like when I'm sat
When
down.
you sat down, okay. Because you have to get you in the pool, you have to be at least a good 4 or 5 centimetres. Because if you get you in too soon, then it knocks all the contractions off. Yeah, because water's another form of pain relief, really.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
I won't do anything. Stand up if you want.
Don't film me, Ryan. It's embarrassing.
You're right, you're right. Come on.
It's not too bad, that.
Good.
I don't know if oh, it goes red when it's recording.
And then
Right.
press pause again. One
Press the red one again.
After that, we established we were 4 centimetres dilated. She said if you're 4 to 5 centimetres dilated, you can go in the pool, because if you're not in established labour, it can slow it down. And I think me getting in the pool, it definitely did slow it down. And there was a lot of chatter going on with my mum and the midwife, and I got given the gas inert, and I started puffing on that, and that really spaced me out. And so I wish I hadn't had it, to be honest.
What's that?
Get yourself, immerse yourself right down so that you're bumped under the water. That's lovely.
That's nice.
You like it?
Okay, good. Right, let me listen in now.
Wow.
His mum is the first grandchild. His
I've
dad, yeah.
got 2 younger brothers, which is
Yeah.
24 and 25.
3
They're
boys.
not married yet. Doing fine, Sammy. You're right.
It just feels really strange, you know.
Why does it
Do you know, like when you feel like you're really bursting through a wee, but I don't think I am.
No.
I don't know. Just, you know, really, it's just a constant, you know, just sensation down there, really uncomfortable.
And what about your back? What about your back passage? Do you feel pressure there?
No, it's just
In your front bum, as we call it. Front bum and back.
That's your first guess.
Yeah.
First time,
Well
first
done.
one.
Keep going, keep going.
Really well, actually.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Really well.
Yourself, plus a lot of vibrations, energy moving in and out of the room. The minute you just feel like it's calm and relaxed, then someone pops in, you know, saying, oh, you know, this and that.
checking the screen,
Then
because they said we had 24 hours really to get the baby out. So you felt under pressure, and then obviously I was getting tired, and I don't think I'd been eating that much food really in the morning.
It's been even me and mums. We've eaten, but it wasn't like I said in 24 hours. We've probably eaten once or
But
twice,
obviously,
maybe.
when you're given when you're in labour, you need to make sure that you're hydrated and that you're eating enough, because it is really, you know, it is hard
Keep
work.
your strength up.
So obviously throughout the day I was getting more tired, and you can see it on the footage.
It always goes too fast. So what's been happening now, Sammy? What's going on?
The baby's not wanting to come yet.
Really?
The head's not down fully.
And now?
I'm only 4 centimetres dilated still from 3 o'clock this morning. Which is only like 6-7 hours, I suppose.
First one as well.
But like remember what they said. Even if it's 4, it can go from 4 till having the baby immediately in a matter of less than an hour.
If the contractions stopped, that's what would be the panic, wouldn't it? Just
Yeah.
talk to Mum now.
How are you feeling?
I'm alright. Just talk to Mum.
You alright, mums?
Yes, I'm fine, Ryan.
It's a waiting game, isn't it?
It is. This baby's too much like you.
Like
He said it's going to come at dinner time. It's going to say, "Oh gosh, I'm hungry now. I'm coming."
Oh,
Yes, it's like it starts. Yeah.
dinner time. It's now 10 o'clock. 10 to 10.
Hours, yes.
2 hours. And look at the light, natural light. Really nice. You right, Sammy?
There's your mum to be.
Ooh, contractions again, eh?
She's coming quick. I mean, at 191 then.
Yeah.
And by the evening time, I don't know if it's that the bloods came back and there was something wrong or what, but they decided to put a cannula in my hand here, and the woman that did it didn't do it correctly, so all of the fluid was going into my hand and my hand ballooned, and it was so uncomfortable. So you've got the pain of that. I wasn't moving around as much later on. I was on the bed a lot, like kneeling up. So now from experience, I know that that's not the best position for me, and the baby wasn't obviously coming down. So as the night progressed, it just became more of a blur for me, because I just kind of like, I gave up. I couldn't take it anymore. Like when people say it's painful in labour, with my home birth, it was uncomfortable, it wasn't painful. But with this labour, it did become painful, because I allowed the fear and the tension to take over, and I kind of just gave up. So it was just painful with every contraction. And as you can see from the last footage that we've got before they moved me to the delivery suite, I'm saying I'm really exhausted, and I just couldn't take it. This. Oh.
Doing great, Sammy. Keep going. Good, good, good.
I just want to get up.
It's stronger now. You're guessing there, is it? Outside, yeah. Don't suffer. Get off. Right back then, Matt. Jaws a bit with that gas.
Oh.
Yep.
Got a lot more painful than that last one.
I think it's because of the position that I'm sat in as well.
Oh,
10 to 10 at night.
Well,
Mums, how many hours have we been here now?
it's half three, that's 12.
Give us a hand here, please, Pam.
And then
Do you need any help? Or is it?
No, no,
Oh,
no.
is that right?
Just hold the hand for me. I'll just. Thank you.
so it's 12 plus 6, 18.
18 hours. How are you holding up, Mums? You alright?
No.
No freaking, isn't it?
Caffeine.
Nice one.
I don't know how poor Simona's.
Oof.
She's done more of this.
Yeah. Yep. Amazing. Amazing.
Amazing. Can you see a little hand?
Oh, you want to?
Yeah.
Have a look at her.
Sorry.
Hands a bit swollen.
You see, yeah.
Yeah, that's what.
Use that gas, use that gas. Can you see what's happening now in a minute?
That's it, Sammy.
Keep going with that. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Lovely.
Awesome, awesome, Sammy. Keep going, yeah. Brilliant.
Well done.
Nice and easy.
Well
Nice
done.
and easy.
Well done.
Nice and easy.
Okay, okay. Keep it back now. I'm gonna wash my hands and then I'm gonna examine.
to turn off if ready.
I'm exhausted.
So yeah.
Exhausted. So I remember them saying, like, late on in the night, so probably around about the 24-hour mark, that, look, we're going to have to move you around to the delivery suite and think about giving you an epidural and giving that syntocin, is it called, to bring on the contractions. They never wheeled me around on the bed. I remember walking around and it felt like the longest walk of my life. And like I said, I'd just given in and I just wanted to get in that room. Just give me the epidural, I want to sleep and I want to eat, but they wouldn't let me have any food. And then I remember them giving me the epidural and I got on the bed, and then this is the bit obviously where Ryan will know a lot more, because by this time I was totally out of it.
Right, so the second part, I think they've got 24 hours to, if you're in the labor room, you've got 24 hours to get the baby out, right? If you don't, then that's when they move you to the second part.
This was in the hospital that we was in, that was
yes.
the policy.
That's when they move you to the second part, which I think there's no turning back. But by the time you get moved from that room,
It's like more.
you might as well just go and have a C-section. Because if you don't, then they'll drag it out another.
One intervention leads to another. That's what we found out from the research.
Yeah.
And it literally did. They was examining me. They had practice doctors in there, and we didn't know.
Yeah, like every other
doctors.
minute. It felt like every other minute. Oh yeah, this is just a trainee. If she's just here to take some notes, and I'm like, you don't want to be rude. But I was just so worried, at that time, obviously, about Simone and Caleb.
You was quite upset though about when they was examining with the.
Yeah, like the way it looked, to be honest, it looked like something from a horror movie, like a dark room. It's dark in the hall. It's quiet, and there's loads of wires. I'm talking about loads of wires all over the place. You can't even get to Simone. That's how many. Is it wires? Do you call it wires? What do you call it? Drips and.
Yeah, drips
madness,
and then
all up in there. Like, it was just madness, to be honest. The next part was horrific because while Caleb, he's not even born yet, they had to examine his head while he's still in there.
The oxygen level, so they had to scratch.
So they scratched the head there, and it's not even where they scratched. They scratched his crown. Of all places, they scratched the crown, which that, and not just once or twice, a few times.
Because the trainee doctor, she couldn't quite.
She didn't do it properly.
So
when
he came out, he just had
loads of scratches on his head, which was ridiculous.
So the trainee doctors scratched his head quite a few times, and they was monitoring the oxygen levels. And then I remember it got to a certain time, like I was, like I said, half asleep, half awake, and I remember them saying that there was some concerns over the heartbeat, and I remember moving, and then it seemed to adjust it, and I said, look, it seems to be all right, can we not keep going? And I remember them saying, we need to do an emergency C-section. Do you know why? Did they say the baby's in distress, or was it because my waters are broken?
They said that, from what I remember, that because the waters are broken and it's been more than 24 hours, or 36 hours, so they were a bit concerned.
Just over 24 hours.
For infections that might take place, and so, the baby's got to come out. And I'm thinking, they could have done that in the first place if they knew. What were they waiting for? But it felt like they just wanted to experiment. But obviously, I don't want to assume. They obviously did their job. Caleb came out and.
Like the C-section itself, we went in and it was quickly. We did ask that he wasn't like wiped down and taken away. they did, and then they wrapped him up, and then we asked, could you unwrap him and let me have some skin to skin with him. But by this time, like I said, I was quite tired, and I think that I was having kind of like an adverse reaction to the pain medication, and yeah, it was just a really bizarre, you know, you're supposed to be like really, really happy, and don't get me wrong, you know, you hear this a lot, like, oh, you should be grateful because your child's there, but whilst I am grateful, you know, it's your first time being a mother and going through all that, and it's like a scary environment, you don't know what's going on, you're so exhausted, it just wasn't what I expected, it just knocked me for 6. And I remember Ryan had to go out while I was like being stitched up and everything, and the baby, so one of the nurses was talking to me, and it felt like for ages that I was in there.
I bet she can't wait to get hold of you again. Can't she? Can't she?
Yes, baby Caleb. With Grandma. Grandma, are you feeling alright? It's long. Hey, hello. Hello.
Want him to open his eyes a bit. There, it's coming there.
Hello. Yeah,
Just that. Well, oh, that's it.
look at him.
There's the proud daddy.
Waiting for a long
There's
time
Caleb, Alexander.
There we go. Wonder what you're thinking now, huh?
Caleb.
Was it long time for you?
Would you do it again?
Yeah,
Would
it's
you?
worth it, yeah.
Oh,
You know, I can't describe the feeling, I just can't. I'm just all praise to God. Thank
Yeah.
you so much, yeah, for everyone, you know. Thanks, Mums. So,
Right, I'm going to switch this off
Yeah.
now for you till your
There
mummy
again.
comes.
And then when I was finally wheeled to recovery, it was really cold in there, and I was shivering, and then the midwife handed over Caleb like to feed, but as you can see from the video, I'm so tired and out of it.
he is so hungry now, I'm
Move this
telling
hand
you.
down.
He's been asking me for milk. I said, I want to give you, but I don't have any.
Oh, look at him. I think he's so nice and warm.
Yeah,
Near the breast.
he's got beautiful skin, eh?
I'll just
Yeah,
bring your breast up a bit.
gorgeous.
Okay.
So I'm gonna
Right.
have to speak to someone about it, see what they can do.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So, when he's drinking, does it feel like there's things going out of you? No? No?
So
Enjoying it so far, being a mom? With everything that's going on around you, besides that, if you think about the
I'm
whole
just
experience, tired, yeah, I can imagine. How's baby doing?
He's alright. And it was like when you see my birthing video of Neva, it was just really tough, really, really difficult for me.
You can't compare the two.
No, like the bond and everything, and we've read studies after about how, you know, the bond can be affected if you do have that type of experience, and you know, the drugs and everything. So they wheeled me to the ward after that, where I had some toast and tea, like finally, just as we were leaving recovery. And then Mum and Ryan went home, and I'm not joking, that first 8 hours or whatever it was, I just felt high as a kite. I didn't know where I was. I'd been messaging people, I can't even remember what I was messaging them. It was really difficult for me to lean over in the crib to get Caleb to feed him. I wasn't really knowledgeable about breastfeeding at the time, so I didn't know when he was hungry, when he wasn't hungry. And then because of the C-section and everything else, there was a delay with my milk coming in.
Yeah, but a lot of times, or we didn't know, but a lot of times when you do go through a cesarean, your milk will be delayed because according to your body, the baby's still in there.
It's not recognised.
It's not recognized that the baby's
But
come
that's what
out,
we've
so
read.
the milk is not being released, and you know, so I think a lot of times this might happen, this might not. People don't realize that, and if they don't know it, they try to they try to breastfeed and nothing comes out, and then they think, oh, I don't have milk, and what they end up doing is they just go over to giving formula, which is
they've not got the support, and it's so easy. Obviously, if you want to breastfeed and you're not getting the milk and you're not told about these injections, like the injection to make the placenta come out, that can delay the milk and everything. We didn't get that support, so. In the hospital, I remember I was allergic to I think it was the morphine, and I was itching from head to toe, and I was hallucinating, and the baby was just on me, like breastfeeding sometimes for several hours at a time, and the midwives took him and they did give him some formula, like reluctantly, and they didn't really want to give it him, but obviously it took the pressure off a bit, but I wanted to exclusively breastfeed. But I just feel like if I had the support in hospital, it would have made it a lot easier for me with the latch and everything. The latch wasn't right, so I ended up bleeding and
sensitive.
So I was it was horrendous for 2 days. I was there, and then I said, look, please, it's not helping with my mental state. I want to go home. I want my husband to look after me at home. Please, can I go home? They reluctantly discharged me like on the evening. I think it was like the Sunday or Monday. I can't remember now.
Monday?
Monday. And my mum had took all my clothes home by accident. So do you know when you've got this vision in your mind that when you had your baby, you're going to have balloons and your car seat and take the baby home? It was snowing. It was minus something. She took all my clothes home. They'd only discharged me at like 6 o'clock at night. And all I had was a nightie and a thin dressing gown, some slippers on, and to go home in that. And the baby screaming. And honestly, it was just the worst start of motherhood, So when we got home, the breastfeeding journey didn't start off so well, and I was in a lot of agony, and the recovery was slow from the C-section. Thankfully, my mum was there to support me for the month, doing all the cleaning and helping out with cooking and things like that. And then Ryan, he was, honestly, without him, I don't know how I would have coped, because especially with the breastfeeding, he knew how much I wanted to do it, and I was in tears most of the time because of the pain, and he'd be sat there like, just, like when I was tense up when he'd latch on, he'd be like holding my shoulders down and not like forcing me down, but like, getting me to like just calm down and breathe and relax, and he's just,
not been reading that in any books.
No, he just
She's been going on, you need to read books. Men just know sometimes, right?
Yeah, I'll give him that sometimes. But yeah, he was so supportive, and it took me a good month to get in the groove of breastfeeding, and I expressed a lot of the time.
To be honest, I had compassion on her, right? I saw how much she was suffering, and how much I knew how much it meant, and I knew that I'm also part of that. So it meant a lot for our family to have a good start. So we were fighting for that every day.
And to get the support, I think having the support around you in the hospital, if you're in the hospital or if you're having a home birth, and obviously just doing lots of research and preparing yourself mentally and spiritually for it. I mean, I have got other videos where I talk about useful books that I've used, and I just can't stress enough about like preparing yourself and watching lots of videos and things like that.
The thing that I would like to add is, because women naturally, they're strong, right? Women out there, they're strong, but it's okay to be able to rely on your partner. Make him know that, what, I need you. There's nothing wrong with it. And I think if you make it known without even saying it, it's okay, because that's why we're there. Experiencing that, I've seen Simone change from Simone being my best friend, my wife, to go through such a traumatic experience. And I was there, but I felt the strain, but I can't imagine what she must have gone through physically, spiritually, because it definitely changed not even a book would prepare you for that. It was absolutely horrendous because it just dragged on and on and on. But we fought through it. It took a long time to recover, which from a man's point of view, there's a lot of great guys out there. I'm pretty confident about that. A lot of great men, who would support their partners, in times like that. But I think if there is a time, especially after birth, I think that's one of the most important times to be able to be very open and flexible in terms of, and I'm not just saying this because Simone's sitting here, but I'm just being real. You have to accept, which is quite difficult to say, but you have to accept the state. If your partner is struggling and they've had a very difficult experience, you have to be mindful. You have to be very wise and mindful, because you are part of that experience in terms of helping your partner recover well, because they've got different personalities at times, different emotions, different just moods. But that all comes down to the having, being a parent, being a mother. But I've definitely seen someone grown.
If you'd like any more videos about what happened when we got home, any more videos on that, how we cope with certain things, then please just leave a comment below. I'm going to do a quick bump update and then I'll get going. But quickly, in regards to symptoms, nothing's much changed, except I've been really having a lot of the Spartone, and it feels like my fatigue doesn't feel as bad. So I'm really interested to know if my iron levels will be higher the next time I have my appointment. I think that's next week, so I'll keep you posted on that. So I'll show you the bump and then I'll get going. You want to say goodbye?
Yeah,
You enjoyed it, making the video with me?
things you do for your wife, eh? It's been fantastic. Hopefully, like I said, stay posted and just keep supporting the channel.
And if you did like this video and you want more, please subscribe and give it a thumbs up. So I'll just show you the bump now. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time. Bye!